Hey guys, welcome back to the Miracle Perspective, and this is the TMP Q&A Wednesday. You ask, I perspectivize. We got an interesting question today from our friend Esperança. Esperança is like, oh, Esperança, bonoit, ou bom dia, como estás? Estou bem. Ha, estou a falar português. Didn't know, you're surprised. I can speak Portuguese. So, guys, the question is, I know that working with people is not an easy task, considering different personalities, points of views, and any other aspect you can think of. So my question for you today is, how do you deal with the adversity at your workplace? And I'm like, yo, that's a very relevant and important question, and it's something I'm still working through. So this will also help me big time. It gives me a week to prepare for it. It's gonna be up next week, Wednesday. Thanks for the question. Are you preparing yourself for your new work? Because she asked this question last week, and then already there was a question for last week, and then I told her that it's gonna be this week. And I asked her, are you preparing for your new work? And she's like, yeah, this is just part of me preparing myself. I can't wait. Thank you. And I was like, I like your due diligence. It's very important. And I think everyone should be prepared for that before starting to work. And then a week later, I wake up and I look at the question again. And I'm like, what do you mean by adversity again? And then she's like, difficult situations with your colleagues, bosses. In addition to that, misunderstandings, stereotypes, challenges that you can possibly face at your workplace in general. Very interesting indeed, and it's very important. So I put it on my status, and this time around I only got one contestant. It's not even a contestant. I got one taker who said, and her name is Nsuku, meaning gold. Beautiful name. Nsuku is like, she was on Skype and she couldn't discuss that now. And then she says, but you deal with difficult people. You need to be wise about it. Sometimes people are just difficult, but sometimes their actions must be addressed. No matter what, maintain excellence in your work. Midiro ya vula vula. And I couldn't agree more with what she said. Profound indeed. Thank you, Nsuku. Although I really hope that you went deeper. But otherwise, that's fine. So now, what is my perspective to this? Basically, I feel like this is one of those missing links or missing pieces to what we learn in school. So our education is good, but it misses a lot of things. And on top of financial education, which is quite obvious by now that most of us do not, basically, we don't learn financial education at school. And more to that, it's the element of human behavior. This is only taught in the psychological fields, the humanities fields, the business fields. That's where you learn about the human behavior. And I think it's a very critical skill or something that we should all learn, because at the end of the day, we are all learning to be in the workplace, right? So how do you go to a place where you don't really know what happens there? And it's human behavior, studying human behavior, how people react and act towards each other. And it's very important. So I've got a science background, studied environmental sciences to master's level. And basically I'm a scientist by profession. But personally, deep inside, I love humanities. I love the psychology. If I were to study again, start all over again, I was going to study psychology. Guaranteed. I love that. So because of my love, I went on and I just decided to teach myself. And also I learn a lot from church. I learn a lot from my dad. And I learn a lot from people in general. So I love humanities. And that's where I learned a lot of my human interaction skills from. So I'm just going to share maybe my story as a way of offering something to you here, Ashba, as you're starting your new work. By the way, congratulations. Well, basically, those who know me, if you know me, you know that I'm quite extroverted. I'm very bubbly. I'm a humans person, right? So the first job I got employed at was a community liaison officer, where I was dealing with the community. So I was employed by a non-profit organization. So I'm just going to pass that phase and go to the next phase where I got employed. I got employed by a telesales company where you are calling clients and selling them insurance. So that environment on its own, because you are dealing with emotions, you're dealing with people, and you really have to be positive. The environment itself was very lively. It was very, there was a lot of pressure, but it was very lively. I mean, we had sessions, we used to call them pump-up sessions, where we stop calling everybody and we are all in the middle and we are dancing, pumping each other up, and we're just having fun to just raise the energy. So you can imagine the whole environment is just lively, right? So I come from that environment. I worked there and I moved on. And I worked my second, and then in between, I got involved in direct selling, affiliate marketing. And obviously, in our meetings, when you're dealing with people, the energy needs to be high and positivity on fleek. We have to be positive, high energy all the time. So our meetings also had high energy. I'm myself. I'm just the way I am. I can express myself as best as I know how. And that's the kind of environment that I come from. Then, to cut the long story short, last year, around July, on my birthday, I got employed in a corporate environment. When I say corporate environment, I mean corporate. This is the suity kind of place, right? Where you wear suits, ties, serious, focus on your work, and that's it. Shoo. I'm going to tell you right now. I'll tell you my story. I'll tell you the story of my interview one day, one of these good days, how I appeared. Wow, first impressions. I'll tell you my first impression through my interview some other time. But today, I started working in this. I got employed at this job as a business development manager. And mind you, look at my background, where I come from. I come from high energy, positive, always with people, interactions. You see, and I get to this place. This office, it's an open space. Everybody has their own cubicle. You get in the office, good morning. Whether they respond or not, it's just their business. Some don't respond, some do, but it's really quiet. You get there, you sit in your own cubicle, you open your laptop, you start switching on your things, you sit down. Done. That's the whole day. It's a cemetery. Everybody is dead. I almost died. To be honest with you, let me be honest. This is a confession time. Guys, the first few months of me working here were really, really, really tough. Yes, see. Because I didn't cope at all. I didn't cope with the environment. I didn't cope with the people, because it was just a different type of setup altogether. It was a different world altogether. And considering my character, coming to such a place where it's just a cemetery, you see, man, it was really tough. Don't know what to say. You don't know how to ask. You don't know what to ask, whether or not you should ask or not. Yes, man. I'm going to tell you right now, it was not easy, guys. And now when it comes to understanding people, it was just tough. The way people are talking in the office. You see, you've got these two guys in the office there by the corner. They are the life of the office. If they're not in the office, then it's complete, like death, cemetery on another level, cemetery pro. So it's gone, it's dead. Those two guys are the life of the office. When they're in the office, at least they will have those 10 minutes nyana to just make the place come alive through them talking. They talk, when they talk loud with this other lady on the other corner, and then that's when the life comes. But if they're not talking, then it's dead. So it took me a while to really understand and blend into this situation. Really took me a while, I don't want to lie. Until I got to understand that for me to really do well in this place, there's a few things that I need to do. And the first thing that I really had to do was to understand their culture. And that's the first point I'm offering to you right now, Esperança. I had to take a step back and say, forget everything, delete my experience, delete my background, delete everything I know, and just get into this place as a clean blank sheet and just blend, not even blend, but understand the culture of the environment. That's why we're taught this in strategic management at school. They were saying, when you get to a new place, I mean, this is just a life lesson, right? When you get into a new place where they speak a different language, a different culture, the first thing you need to do in order to relate with those people, at least speak their language, at least learn how to greet in their language. It's part of understanding their culture. And then at least dress in their culture. And then they will accept you even better. So that's the one thing I had to take a step back on and just try and understand for myself to help me cope in this situation, because I wasn't going to cope. I wasn't coping. It was not my kind of deal. So I had to understand the culture. That's number one. After understanding the culture, I had to take it a step further and understand the individuals in the office. And I took my own time alone to understand each and every individual's character in the office space. Oh, this one is like this. This is the bubbly one. This one speaks like this. Well, this one is a bit harsh in their language. This one is quite silent. There is a no-go area. Then I had to understand their different cultures as an individual. Different, not even culture, but their way of dealing with things, their personalities. And that's the second thing I did on my own. And this one time I was talking with my colleague. He got there before me, so we usually eat lunch together. And then we were busy talking, discussing, and then he was shocked when I was telling him about the people in the office, like everybody in the office. And I was like, this one is like this one is like this, no man, that one is like this one won't do that. And the guy's like, yeah man, Chief, you came after me, but you already know all these things that I don't know about these people. How do you know? I'm like, no, man, it's one of the things that I love. I love human behavior. So I take time to understand people. And also, it was really more for me to be able to deal and cope in the environment. I had to understand these people. So I took the initiative to understand these people individually. So how did that help me? That helped me, it helped me by knowing how to receive things, how to take things when somebody does something to me, because I know who they are and how they are, doesn't really become an offense to me. Understand? Because I know if you get into the office and you don't know anything, the way they speak in the office, I'm telling you, you would cry, you would die, you'd basically not come back to work. The way they respond and the way they speak, you'd feel like, nah, man. So, but because now I understood the individuals, when they said those kind of things, I accept them because I know that's who he is, right? So that's the second thing that I invite you to do as well, because that's one thing I also did and it helped me, understanding the individuals. And how does this help you? Where do you come into this thing? You come in by understanding yourself. Obviously, you need to know who you are. And I mean, that's my message. That's my core message, everything that I'm doing here. Who are you? And that's the first thing you need to do. Before you even go to work, before you even go to school, before you even go to church, before you even go to wherever you're going to be interacting with people, you need to know who you are. Because if you know who you are, you make it easy for other people to deal with you. But if you don't know who you are, and then somebody must figure themselves out, and they figure you out, it's a big problem, you see. So at least do half of the work by knowing yourself. When you know yourself, you will ask yourself, what am I here for? Meaning, why are you going to work, right? And that's a very important question, and I think most people do not understand why they're going to work. You can see with the way they react to things, the way they deal with things at work. People are engaged in conflicts, workplace conflicts. People are engaged in politics, company politics. People are engaged in many things, man. And that's, to me, it just shows me that you don't know why you went to work, right? Because you lost the agenda. And one thing I learned from Robert Kiyosaki is your job is not a money-making institution. Instead, your job is a learning institution. I just paraphrased it. Meaning, don't go to work, don't go to your job with a mindset of making money. Because you won't make money. It's not designed for you to make money, right? It's designed for you to help the company make money. That's what it is, and that's the truth. You just need to build a bridge and get over it if you don't understand. So your job is not made for you to be rich. Your job is not made for you to be balling and make money and buy the expensive cars, houses, and live a happy ever after life. No, it's not made for that. Your job is made for you to help the company make money. And that's the first thing that you must keep at the back of your head. And make peace with that. Because if you don't make peace with that, you will start engaging in company politics. You'll start engaging in conflicts. You'll start questioning things, the systems. Where is what going? Why are they doing this like this? But if you know your part, you know your place, because you know who you are. You're not there to compete with the company. You're there to help the company succeed. So basically, the mindset you should be having when you go to your job is, I am here to help the company succeed. So basically, my involvement in the company should be seen with the results that the company has at the end of the day, right? So if the company is not doing well, there's something you're not doing yourself, right? It's besides the point. So know what you are there for, right? First thing, more especially when it comes to your first job, the first thing that you are there for is to learn. It's to learn. It's not to debate. It's not to do anything. And I'm not saying be oppressed and allow yourself to be oppressed. No, that's not what I'm saying. I am saying be there with an open mind to learn. And learning human behavior and how people interact in a corporate or a work environment. It's one of the things that you are there to learn. You are there to learn your work, to put what you have learned in school into practice. You are there to learn how to deal with your own personal finances, because obviously what you're going to get paid is not enough over a longer period of time. That's why a lot of people are now striking, because their salaries are not enough. So they are failing. When somebody strikes because their salary is not enough, basically they are failing in the test. They are learning and they're failing in the test. Basically, they're not learning well. They're supposed to learn how to manage their finances, their personal finances. Because how is it that when you start working, you love your salary? It's good. Wow, wonderful. I'm working. You're going from zero to something, and now you are there at something. Eventually, that something is not enough. What happened in between? There was some mismanagement that happened there. Do you understand what I'm saying? So one of the things that you are there to learn is financial education. How do you manage your personal finances? But your question is, how do you deal with adversity? All those things that I was saying, they fit into this. If you understand the culture of the environment, because you know who you are, point number 3, you will know how to blend yourself into the culture. So you bring yourself, and not to say that forget and kill yourself in trying to blend in. No. You have a culture, and now you find a gap where you can fit yourself into the culture. So right now, this is what's happening in the office. I was there, I was misplaced, I felt out of place in the first place, but now, when you get into the office, you will know me. I'm there, I'm expressive, I'm that bubbly, I have life again, right? Because I got to understand the culture and I fitted myself into the culture. And I know I established my own niche. When you get into the office, basically I'm that one person who's there. When somebody wants to bully someone, I'm the I'm the culprit. So everybody is just, I'm the one who's bullied in the office. And it's really nothing to me. And I'm the one who doesn't really care, you see. When somebody wants to mock, they come to me. And I think it comes with my character of extroversion. I love people. So it's the nice guy tendencies, man. I don't think I like that idea anymore of being a nice guy, but it's besides the point. So, but that's who I am, and you would find people mocking me in the office. The whole office is laughing at me, right? And I'm just like, no comment. I keep quiet, and it's nothing to me. I don't get home and have sleepless nights because somebody said this to me. What? Nah, I don't really do, because it's just it makes me feel in place, because now at least the environment is open, right? So if you know yourself, you'll be able to fit in the culture, and you'll be able to deal with the individuals, because that's point number two. You know the individuals, you know what when the individual acts like this, you react like this. You don't take things personally, then you avoid the conflict. And obviously, as according in support of what Suku has said, there are those extreme cases where the person is just unreasonable. They just want to give you a hard time. I haven't experienced that. I don't think I'll get to that point. If I do, at least this video helped me to prepare. But you have those points, those moments where people are just unreasonably useless, unreasonable, and they just want to attack you, jealous, competition, like some weird things that people do in offices. It's just quite appalling if you think about it. So yeah, you will find those cases sometimes, but if you know yourself, you know your place and why you are there, you'll be able to deal with those things. You'll be able to avoid all those conflicts. So that's my offering to you, Esperança. Thank you for the question. That's a very important question, and I wish everybody should prepare themselves just like you before they get into the environment, because it's very tough when you get into the environment. You are not prepared. It's like a shock. A lot of people go into depression and they don't cope. They don't do their job properly. They're under pressure. They underperform because of all this anxiety and pressure that they're not able to cope with. And that's because they fail to understand the element of human behavior in the working environment. You need to also understand that certain people are more interested in, people are interested in different things, and it's just taking longer. But it's very important I say this. People are interested in different things. You've got those people who are interested in things, and you've got those people who are interested in people. And that's where I fall into the category, or my category is the people interested in people, a person who's interested in people. And you've got other people who are interested in things, and that includes their laptops, their computers, their work. They will focus a lot on their work and not what anybody does. And that's who they are. And that they are fine. All of us are fine. But as long as you know the individuals, you know how to relate and act accordingly when dealing with them. So that's my offering. Lastly, that's my offering, man. That's my offering. It was very important, man. This is very important. It helped me to also go back into myself and understanding who I am and what I'm doing. But the biggest thing, understand yourself, man. Another thing that I'm going to suggest for you to do, and I'm going to talk about this maybe some other time. It's very important. There's this thing called the Big 5 personality trait test. Basically, it's the abbreviation is OCEAN. OCEAN. O for openness, C for conscientiousness, E for extroversion, A for agreeability, whatever it is, agreeableness, and N for neuroticism. These are very important for you to know. So go on Google, just say the Big 5 personality trait test. That will help you to understand yourself better. In which category do you fall? And that will help you to know yourself better, to understand yourself better, and how you deal with other people. And that's the offering that I'm going to give you. Thank you so much for the question once again. To everybody out there, this is the Miracle Perspective, and this is the TMP Q&A Wednesday. Please do send your questions. I appreciate your questions because they explore the learning journey for all of us, you and I included. And I thank you so much for staying tuned, for always coming back and just showing me love, man. I love you all, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe, comment, share, like, subscribe, comment, share. See you again next week. It's finished. Boom.